Hi, I'm Andy Husbands from Tremont 647. I'm going to be making my award-winning barbecue sauce glazed pork tenderloin with a bacon corn relish and a mascarpone grits. To make my award-winning barbecue glaze, it's pretty easy. And one of the things I'm fascinated about is flavor. I like things to be, for this glaze, a little bit sweet, a little bit of sour, and some kind of like mystery ingredients that give it kind of aromatics. Not your standard barbecue sauce. So pretty easy. What we're going to do is take ketchup over medium, high heat, like so. I add brown sugar. Mustard. I use a Dijon to give it a little bit of spice. I have two types of vinegar, cider and cheap white vinegar. Worcestershire, and cumin. Now those are the ingredients you're normally going to see in a normal barbecue sauce. I'm going to stir them up. But what makes this special is, one, we're going to reduce it, which all those flavors are going to intensify, but I'm also going to add in mustard powder, curry powder, and marjoram. Now the curry powder, you're kind of probably thinking, oh, I don't know, curry, Indian, sounds a little Indian. Actually, it kind of gets hidden behind all the sweets and the sours, but it gives it a nice kind of floral flavor along with the margarine. We let this simmer for about 30 minutes, and it'll be good to go. So my sauce has been simmering for about 30 minutes now, and I can tell it's done because if you look, you can see it's just a little bit darker. It doesn't really have that ketchup-y look to it. And what happens is that it gets really intensified, the flavors. So the vinegar is reduced, the sugar is reduced, kind of really brings everything out. The curry comes out, the margarine. Now, oh, it's perfect. What I like to do with this is good alone. Put it on some ribs, serve it, brush it on chickens. Even a hearty fish, if I just a little bit of light brushing on top, maybe even like a grilled cod. Not too much, you don't want it to be too thick, but just a light brushing would be really, really good. Really, anything grilled, this is perfect with. So now we're going to make a rub for the pork tenderloin. One of my theories about kind of meat and rubs and marinades is what I really like to do is create a really big, bold flavor for the outside, yet kind of leaving the inside to taste like its natural product, actual pork. When you marinate something, which can be fine, but generally that's going to change the flavor, so I like the natural flavors. But when I make my rubs, what I like to do is make them really big. So I like them to be too sour, too garlicky, too salty. So that's why I add a lot of kind of ingredients to it to make it really big. So I've added a fair amount of basil leaves, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, cider vinegar, and some salt and pepper. Now if you don't have a fancy blender like this, you can use your normal blender that you make your margaritas at home in. You could also use a food processor, works as well. But for me, I like it really smooth. That's why I use the blender. The food processor will give it a little bit chunkier, but that's okay too. So this rub, it's a little bit thin, but I like it like this. What I do is I just pour it over the pork. You can see it's all that great basil flavor in there. And it's really got a big salt flavor to it. Just put that on there. I have a smoking hot pan over here. I like to use what we call black steel or like a cast iron pan. They hold the temperature better and can really you can go from the stove all the way into the oven really, really easily. So I get it nice and hot because what I'm going to do is, it's called the Maillard reaction. And the Maillard reaction is the caramelization of proteins. You've seen it on the grill a lot. It's when that kind of nice golden brown occurs. And what I want to do is kind of bring out those natural flavors. So I'm caramelizing the meat itself to really kind of give it another kind of layer of flavor. It will take about 3 to 5 minutes to sear. And then I'm going to take a look at it. I want it to be nice and golden brown. So here's the caramelization that we're looking for. You can see that absolutely beautiful golden dark brown. So we flipped it over, and now I'm going to put it in the oven, 425 degrees for about 10 to 15 more minutes until it's reached an internal temperature of 135 degrees. We're going to make some mascarpone cheddar grits. Over medium heat, got some butter. I'm going to add garlic. And what we're looking for here is just till it gets a little bit of fragrance. Probably take about a minute. We don't want to burn the butter. We just want to make sure that the garlic flavor comes out. Not trying to toast it, just trying to give it a nice fragrance. I can smell it. I smell that garlic. It's delicious. I add water and milk. I'm going to turn it on high. It will take a second to boil. Once I have my water and milk boiling, I'm going to add, these are quick instant grits. And I slowly, like I'm making a polenta, going to stir it in. What we want to try to do is not have any lumps. So we slowly add it, like so, while stirring. Going to turn it down just a little bit to like kind of a medium low. And it may seem kind of thin, but don't worry, it's going to thicken up. This is going to take about 3 to 4 minutes of simmering and stirring, and then I'm going to add my mascarpone and cheddar. Okay, so my grits have been simmering for about 3 to 4 minutes. Nice and thick, I can see here. What I'm going to do, just to finish it, is add some cheddar cheese. Stir that in. And some mascarpone. Now, mascarpone, which I know my Italian friends are going to kill me for saying, but it's similar to like an Italian cream cheese. A little bit more rich and creamy and velvety, I guess, than a cream cheese. But it's the best way I can explain it. I stir it up good. Season it with a little bit of salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we have cheddar mascarpone grits. So my pork's been cooking for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can see it's nice and caramelized, golden brown on the outside. What I do is in the pan, I'm going to glaze it. Slather it up with that barbecue sauce. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest it. You can use forks. You can use a resting rack if you want. And I'm going to take it out of the pan and just put it right on top. So what this is going to do is any of those juices, they're going to kind of drip off. It's not going to kind of sit and fester in its juices. So the pork's been resting for about 5 minutes now, and I think I'm ready to plate this. So got my mascarpone grits. Just put them on the plate. And my bacon corn relish, which is super tasty. Just going to put a little bit right there. And now I'm going to slice the pork tenderloin. And now we could cut straight down like that. I can absolutely do that. It's going to taste the same. But what I like to do is cut on the bias or the angle. And that's just for a presentation. As you can see, sorry, it's a little bit warm. There we go. A nice angle. Now, a pork tenderloin weighs between, I'd say, 8 ounces and a pound. So, obviously, if it's a pound, it's probably too much for one serving. So, I'm going to just put that on there like so. And I think for just a little bit of fun, I'm going to put a little bit of sauce down here in case somebody wants to just dip a little bit more. Get that yummy glaze. Okay. And here we have my award-winning barbecue sauce glazed pork tenderloin, the mascarpone grits, and a bacon corn relish. Yum.